PITCHMAP simplicity can be a trap, but here I bring you all of these techniques that has been discovered as time passes by. You will join me as we explore future RIDDIM's evolution, learning these techniques one by one since it all started. So ask yourself, will you settle for the easy route or carve your own path in future RIDDIM? The early landscape was shaped by LEOTRIX, a pioneer who inspired many. When he teamed up with Olocil's Halcyon to craft a drop that Marshmallow played at Lollapalooza 2021 called Chemo Boy 303, yes sir. So that set the standard. Therefore, his vision of the Leo EP became a genre cornerstone. But while others stagnated, LEOTRIX kept evolving. And you may ask, how did he stay ahead? You can go here on your oscillator A after turning on oscillator B, obviously. Turn the level down of the oscillator B and put here AM from B and turn that on. There's gonna happen nothing because we gotta move the octaves of the oscillator B down. Hyperdimension. Some distortion before it. Some compression. Before the compression we're gonna put some delay. Then let's put some noise. And on the sub let's put this triangle wave. And now let's put the randomize all the way down in both oscillators. The thing I was missing out is this downsample distortion because I usually distort things, but so you have that. And then post-process it. Finally let's put a G clip. And while LEOTRIX laid the foundation, Shark expanded his genre horizons that was basically color based. But he didn't stop there. Then he finally collaborated with Chime on his Water Elemental EP and solidified his sound, merging color based with a little bit of future rhythm. But because it was sound emerging at that moment, adding fluid and emotional depth. Therefore, this marked a new era of watery textures and immersive soundscapes. Let's have a sine wave. We're gonna turn the noise oscillator, turn the level down, and on this knob we're gonna select the FM from noise oscillator. Choose any noise you have, mess up with the pitch. Let's fucking resample that shit. Let's put some OTT to reveal the real sound of it. Let's get rid of the lows. Stretch a little bit, resample it again. This is a cool plugin right here. Grab your Edison and just record and play with that shit. I have a lot of, and I'm gonna render all of that for my Patreon, so yeah. I always go for a G clip at the end of my chain, softness all the way up, and a little fucking secret nobody tells nothing about crystallizer. This is weird as fuck. And a little tip, put it to 1200 cents. So here and the mix level I turn it really down, maybe 25%. Maybe stretch it a little bit. Then the worst happens.
PITCHMAP.
What the hell, boy?
He basically introduced PITCHMAP to the mainstream. What the fuck is that? A revolutionary tool that brings melodic harmonics to any fucking sound. Therefore, producers gravitated towards it, overusing its easy manipulation. But that only happens when creativity takes a backseat. So therefore, what if we flip the script? Did you see that? Was what if PITCHMAP became a tool of innovation and not imitation? To prove this, I'm resample my own sounds, okay? Oh, whoa, what the fuck? So I'm gonna show you how far we can push PITCHMAP. For this I'm gonna use this plugin, but you gotta stay along the video. Well, now you can put PITCHMAP and put, I don't know, any scale. As you increase the purify, you're gonna... And you here can play with the harmonics. All of it has been done with this OTT on the top. Let's roll it to another channel. All of this has been done with the G clip, like on the master. Now let's record that bitch. And we can resample it. Let's play. What the? If you're wondering where all these sounds come from, it's from our new Polytones bundle. So if you fuck with this sound, it's gonna be $12 just for a limited time. Links down below if you wanna grab it and start flipping it in your own way. Well, everyone was going crazy with PITCHMAP back then. DAEYA, then known as DDD, is leading with something way more emotional. Tracks like Glass Heart, Call Me First, and Travel Away felt beautiful. And what makes DAEYA stand out for me isn't just the sound design, that is really fucking on point obviously, but it's the chords, the melody, and how everything from the intro to the outro feels intentional. In this section I get really in depth on music theory, and this idea was started by Flourish Core, so shout out to my boy. Basically, this is a crescendo chord progression. Well, this is a D sharp minor chord, but it's in its first inversion. But we know inversion would sound like, and it's situated on the C sharp major scale. Knowing that, we have the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. With these notes, we have our sub-bass notes. And if we want to expand more, you would like to just copy this and put it one octave higher, right? But let's listen to it. It doesn't close because we cannot end with the D sharp and begin with the D sharp. So on this D sharp minor scale, continue the chord. So we will have this, right? Clone that, get rid of this C sharp of course, and now let's listen to it. For the melody, you gotta just listen to a lot of music. You can listen to rock, pop, trap, whatever you like. And by listening to a lot of fucking shit, this is the melody that came to the project. Let's get into the sound design. I think you can get this on his Patreon, so you can go check that out. And finally, we have this chord stack. That is gonna be always two. One really spread on the stereo and with a lot of voices, and another one really situated on mono and the mids. Just remember that because I'm gonna explain to you in the next section where started crafting his sound even before Future Rhythm existed. With this color-based approach, also Chime was into. Tracks of him like the Just Like You remix, the Vibrance collab with Beast Boy and Mike Shift did more than sound good. They introduced a deeper emotional connection. Therefore, we'll break down his sound and see how Future Rhythm can evolve emotionally way more. Without any effect sounds like this. First of all, I added this convolution reverb. And we have been working with this G clip at the end of the chain since the beginning. Then we have the chords. They're gonna be the supported layers for the main synths, okay? So first of all, we have the oscillator A, there's gonna be sound wave, 5 voices of unison. On the oscillator B, we're gonna put it one octave higher and 4 voices of the unison. Then we turn on the sub oscillator and put a sine wave. We're gonna go on the post-processing and put some. While for the other patch, you only have one voice on unison of oscillator A. Then oscillator B is gonna be one octave higher. And if you turn your sub oscillator, put a saw wave and turn it one octave lower, and the lever put it like on 30%, it's gonna sound like a little bit of readiness on the back that is gonna be accentuated by the distortion. And with the other, it's gonna sound like this. And the most important thing, I go more specific on that in my Patreon, but it's usually sine wave, white noise, and some distortion, and my all of that together is routed to my drop bus, where I have a little bit of distortion with a G clip on top of it. You gotta have some fresh drums, but there's more beneath the surface, so let's explore the underground. In 2023, BAW is standing for black and white. If you fucking stupid thing didn't know, for a nostalgic yet fresh take on Future Rhythm, a neo-distorted VHS sound aesthetic with a mix sound that isn't always necessarily perfect, but it is what BAW stands for in his Future Rhythm approach. Even the mix sound expresses feelings, and a melody with a broken sound can say a lot. Damn, that's fun. Let's explore how BAW reshaped the scene. You can go ahead and use any sample. For example, we can go ahead and use the bedroom noises samples. DC Magic plugin called Spectral Gate. You can play with the cutoff amplitude. And then with the weak strip balance, you can tell. And from there, I just resampled it, grab it over here, and put a distortion. But it is the fallback distortion, so you gotta put this right here. The thing right here is the scale. Look at it. So if you get any sample that's similar and tonal, 2024 came and the BAW-CLONE movement flooded the whole scene. Producers posting black and white disturbing or nostalgic images with a really heavy or melodic distorted track, like that one right there. This is a render from the basis of the first drop. Well, the whole process of this is on my Patreon, so if you wanna check that out. So without any processing, it sounds like this. First of all, I have a bow codex with 7 bands only, because if we have more, it would sound like that. Because I always get my sub bass apart from the actual. Then we have a really protuberated AM from B, really fucking low, the oscillator B, -4 octaves. And the post-processing we only have some OTT, just to emphasize the grittiness and the distortion. On top of it we have some peculiar plugin, I don't know if you know it. But will these techniques be enough to keep Future Rhythm fresh? In my point of view as a bedroom producer, this raises a critical question. Are we gonna get stuck in another monotony loop? Honestly, Future Rhythm has come a long way since 2020, but without relentless innovation, it risks falling down into the same loops of monotony that threatened it before. So collaborate, innovate, get the Timeless Files bundle, join the Polytones Hub Discord, and maybe reshape the next wave of Future Rhythm before it dances back into repetition with all this vocal movement we are living and that way saving the art of Future Rhythm.